Alright, we're back. Last episode we started tackling the really confusing passageway component of Lord Jabu Jabu's Belly, the third dungeon, and I think we basically tackled all of it, and now we're ready to return to the next part of the dungeon, which is where we kind of fall down the hole that we just unlocked by killing the green tail, the green weird tonsil thing. So let's start the footage. Right, we'll just be pausing this image for a bit. We should come back pretty soon. Alright, here we go. We just got to exit straight away. And like I said, we can't kill these bizarre snake claw things, which is pretty tough. Like, I remember dying a few times as a child in front of those claw things. This is not the hole that you fall down. This is the incorrect hole. I got really confused about the directions. Alright, this is coming from the other direction of the room. This is the correct hole that you fall down, and you should land on top of the room, basically. You should land on the highest part of the room. And it'll give you some access to these gold sculptures. Don't focus too much on these jellyfish, because you're not gonna reach them. They kind of potter around, and if they're not that close to you, they don't really care about what you're doing. I think this is like the highest density of gold sculptures anywhere in the game, to see like two in the same area like this. I think it kind of tricks you as well. It tries to get you to go down onto that platform down the bottom there, but there's nowhere to get back up again. You have to kind of circle around. I think that's kind of the point of this dungeon. You have to keep going up to the top and cycling back around to the bottom again, which seems a little bit unfair. Okay, we'll pick up Princess Ruto and head to the next room. This might be where we have the really frustrating boss battle, mini boss battle. I love it when she complains. It's quite nice. Right, so this is the kind of the item that we're after. This is the item that she was after as well. She dropped it, or she got it inhaled into this room when she was feeding Lord Jabu Jabu, their god. And I like that they use the item discovered sound for her as well. I'm not sure if they do that for any other characters in any other Zelda game, but it's kind of nice. I do like the kind of the expanding and contracting filter that they put on the game video. It really does make you feel like you're inside someone's belly. Alright, this is going to be a really frustrating boss battle. It's basically going to take up this whole episode, but I wanted to show you guys an example of some really bad game design. Not that I know much about game design, but this is not how I would make a dungeon. Alright, I'll reveal to you very simply what you have to do. You have to hit this boss correctly, not like I just did. You need to hit this mini boss with your boomerang, and it's going to stun him, and then he will flip around and perhaps randomly show you an exposed area on his backside. And you can kind of see the little opening there just in the corner of the frame. But it's random though. He only turns around randomly sometimes to show you the correct part of him. And if you Z target him, he will, I'm assuming it's a he, the creature will go away. It's like a little bit like a Poe. And this is kind of what I was talking about in the podcast as well. Like, you kind of clip outside the wall and it kind of ruins the effect of the boss battle a little bit. And so I got really confused. I started chasing him. I didn't know how to hit him with the boomerang. It's not made quite clear. And yeah, like I said, the moment you Z target the boss, he just disappears. So you hit him, but you can't see the backside. And so I start thinking maybe I should run around to the other side of the room. But obviously that takes too long. It's impossible. You'll never reach the other side of the room in time for him to unfreeze. So now you don't know where the boss is, because the field of vision is too small, and sometimes it's difficult to get lined up properly with the boomerang. You basically have to hit him with the boomerang from the front. You can't do it from behind. But it seems like the only safest way to do it, because I couldn't judge the correct distance. And again, so I couldn't judge the correct distance that you needed to be from the boss, and obviously you're blocked by his tentacles, you can't get around to the back. Got really, really confused about what I should do. Maybe I should have used Navi and pressed up C in order to get a little bit more information about the boss, but it wasn't happening. And I guess my aim is not that great as well. It is quite a frustrating boss battle, because if you don't get lined up properly, you can't avoid damage. I think I do end up losing quite a bit of health here. So yeah, again, we're being faced to the front of the boss. So now I start thinking I have to run around to the other side, but that's not happening. It's impossible. And then you get hit by the boss. And the clipping. I just don't like, here we go. So maybe you can hit the boss from behind properly. And sorry, the audio gets pretty choppy here. I probably shouldn't draw attention to it. We're being chased by the boss, got hit by the boss. I think at this point I start just getting really frustrated. And I start thinking, what if I just keep hitting the boss with the boomerang, what's going to happen? And I got really confused about which direction the boss was heading in because of the really poor field of view. You can't see the whole chamber. And the boss moves too fast away from you, like you can never really hit the boss from behind properly. I'm just not sure how to manage that. So now I just start hitting the boss over and over again with my boomerang to see what would happen. So yeah, the backside was exposed now. I think we just have to hit the boss one more time. Yeah, I think maybe you need to wait until it's rotating the correct direction away from you. Maybe it is a few more times because we're not doing jump attacks. We're doing normal sword attacks. Let's wait for the boss to come around. And the boss does change direction. Let's wait for the boss to unfreeze so we can hit it from the right direction again. Nope, still not. See, this is what I mean about being random. It can throw you off. Like, it makes you think you have to run around the room. It makes you think you have to hit the boss from behind. And all these things kind of throw you off. It's not really communicated to you correctly what the correct way to tackle the boss is. It's not clear. As opposed to the real boss in this dungeon, the main boss, which is an excellent boss. I think it's a great boss. It's really clear what you have to do. You have to take care of the orbiting jellyfish around the outside of the quote-unquote barricade. See, now we've got the right behind the correct backside of the mini-boss. Like I said, a really frustrating boss. It's not explained clearly, and a lot of the contextual cues throw you off from what should be happening properly. I think we still have quite a bit of time left in this episode, so luckily that didn't take up the whole episode. But I just wanted to show you guys exactly what can go wrong in a game that's still experimental. So I think with 3D action role-playing games was still very, very new at this stage. No one had really made a 3D role-playing game like this before. No one really knew what the correct formula was. Although, when formulas get tiresome, that's obviously when you need to get a new one, but the formula here was still being expounded. See that Octorok over there? That's a really irritating Octorok. That basically throws me off this tonsil, but I'm just staggered. What is this thing? It shocked me so much. It's the most bizarre component of a dungeon I've ever seen. Luckily, the boomerang does kind of lock on, but since I spent so much time trying to kill that Octorok, the little tonsil thing got unstuck. It is it's really, really weird. All these tonsil things in the dungeon. And the sound it's making. I remember editing this and just looking at it and going, what on earth? I'd forgotten about these tonsils. Right, head to the next room. Right, this room is a little bit confusing as well. It's not really quite clear what you're meant to do. But really all you have to do is jump out onto this platform here, and it locks down. We still don't know where Princess Ruto is, and this is it's kind of confusing because it it decontextualizes the dungeon a little bit. You're not quite sure where to go, what to do. You're alone now because you've been with Princess Ruto for most of the dungeon. Just kill this jellyfish. I'm sure there is a name for the jellyfish, I just don't know what it is. Right, we basically need to pick up one of these boxes and take it over to the switch and put it on top of the switch. It seems like a bit of a waste. Like there should have been like a bit of a better puzzle to use at this point. Like, okay, let's just put a box in the dungeon and then they can use the box to block the switch. Right, we'll end the episode here. Basically, we're going to be tackling the boss next episode, which should be pretty good, because I think this is an excellent boss. I think it's an excellent main boss for a dungeon. It's a really scary boss. There's a lot of components to it. And I think it's when you feel a genuine sense of fear for once in the game, because it is quite a tough boss, even though it's a lot clearer than the mini-boss. Anyway, we'll leave it here. I'll see you guys next episode, where we will finally finish the dungeon and basically finish up childhood in the game. There will be a few more episodes that we need to tackle, finishing up getting gold sculptures and some heart pieces, but basically childhood will be done after this dungeon. Alright, I'll see you guys next time.